Hello, my name is Daiva. Today I want to share my experience of using natural remedies for the migraines. I have a very extensive experience of migraines because I had them since childhood, most likely. They weren't super bad until probably my teenage years, but I already have in my medical records that I already was complaining about headaches at 2. But since my teenage years, they became really bad. And however, I'm lucky that I experience them 2 to 3 times a month, so not like daily. Sometimes they last a few days, but usually 1 day or 2. Anyway, so since I had that bad experience with painkillers, having some reactions, which I might share in another video, a few years ago I started looking for the ways to deal with them and hopefully one day eliminate them with natural remedies. So one of the first ones I found was with betony herb, betony officinalis, if I'm saying it right. And it's a tincture, alcoholic tincture made out of, I believe it's a herb itself, not a root. Anyways, but I'm gonna put that in description or maybe under the picture. So the way you take this herb is, the very best thing is to take things before nausea sets in. Because once nausea sets in, it's very hard to know if your body actually absorbed it, because at that point you might be not digesting. So what happens is I take a dropper, usually I put it in a smaller bottle, and take a dropper or 2 droppers every 15 minutes until the pain is gone. And then you can, I reduce the frequency of it. And if it's gonna help every time, I cannot promise you. Because for me, that's why I have a list on my fridge. As to other remedies, I know lots of them. So, and I make sure to keep a few on hand and even carry with me in the bag. Because you have, the earlier you start, the higher chance of success. So, but this herb did abort my migraine from actually coming full blown quite a few times. Now, even the migraine is a very tricky, much trickier than, let's say, a cold or cough or something. As this guy, Steve Hickey, I don't know if I'm saying it right, in his book, The Vitamin Cure for Migraines, writes, because he actually has migraines himself, not like most of the authors of the books about migraines. And he describes it very clearly, just what my experience says, that one time, one remedy can totally help you, totally stops the migraine, doesn't come back, it's fine. Next time you take the same remedy, the same amount, nothing, no improvement. And he noticed the same thing, and yet then I take the same remedy again next time and it helps again. So you might want to have a few of these and try them quickly. If it doesn't go away in 15 or 20 minutes max, you know it's not that way. And even if it's reduced, that doesn't mean it's gone. You have to continue on and on until not just it's gone, but if you have aura, like I have aura even though it's not visual, but my aura is just the feelings, like a few hours, or at least an hour before the pain starts, I feel these feelings in my head, which I cannot explain what they are, but kind of like a dull kind of thing, like your thinking seems to be like some sort of veil or something. You know it's coming. I know it's coming. So some people see visual things, but that's still aura. Aura is not necessarily just visual thing. So if you have aura like me, then you're probably lucky, because now you have a little bit of time before your pain will start. So try as many things, not as many things, because again, you don't want to overwhelm your body, but try something, repeat the dose, it doesn't help, try something else. But don't put the timer if you have to, every 15 minutes, because you have to stay on it. If it's not gone, it's not gone. You have to take something else because you don't have much time. Once nausea sets in, well, when nausea sets in, you can try one thing. You can take the tincture, the tiny amount of water, in your mouth and hold it. Because sometimes, even if your stomach cannot digest, it can get digested in your mouth. It might be enough to work. But another thing I want to share with you, what helped me on another occasion, is niacin. It has to be a regular flush niacin. I read that for some people, non-flush niacin helps as well, but they need 1,500 milligrams versus of this. Usually you can get away with 500 to 1,000 milligrams. However, you have to know a little bit about niacin. Niacin is gives you a flush, and the flush is not just that your face becomes red or something. No, you feel like you burned in the sun. You start itching, like at least I start itching on my arms, on my neck, like the rash becomes like blotches. It looks kind of like an allergy thing because it pushes out the histamines out of your body. So you have to be careful if you have a very strong allergies, let's say peanut allergy. You have to work with a professional in that case. You can, but you're gonna have to do very small amounts because obviously it can be dangerous. But if you don't, like I don't, I use this, usually 500 milligrams. It doesn't have to be this brand. I just happen to use this. Now I actually bought a pound of niacin of powder because it doesn't have fillers. I don't really like stearic acid or magnesium stearate. But anyways, I usually take B complex with it just because it's nice to balance out with B vitamins, and some of them actually might be helpful as well. But I just take 1 or 2 of this, and of this I usually take minimum 500 milligrams. Be ready for the flush. Well, if you do, flush is not pleasant. However, much more pleasant than migraine. And flush goes away like within an hour or 2. So it's really not a big deal. Okay, so I want to end. I really recommend this book. It also describes niacin and other things. The Vitamin Cure for Migraines. I think this is the best book I read, and I read a lot. So with betony and niacin, and I'm sure I'm gonna come back to this theme and tell you more. But in my experience, these two worked really well sometimes. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes I did other things. So I'm gonna share with you later. And that's enough for now. Okay, bye.